Hi guys, today we're going to have a quick look at the Fanatec Handbrake, unboxing it and see how it performs in Dirt Rally 2. So let's go have a look at it. So the only protection that the handbrake had was this shipping box. There's no packaging inside, it's just basically straight into the handbrake box itself. So let's open this up. My blade isn't the sharpest, unfortunately. So once we're in the box, we're presented with the Club Sport handbrake box, which is pretty plain, if I'm honest. You kind of expect a little bit of marketing material on this, but yeah, it's just Club Sport in lots of places with Fanatec logo and the obligatory item on the box. So fairly plain. We have these little clear tape tabs which we can slice off on both ends. And once we have that done, we can slide out the handbrake, which is in a foam insert. We've got a couple of cables here and an adapter, and these allow us to use the various different Fanatec wheels with the handbrake, or indeed plug it directly into a pedal set if you happen to have, for example, the CSL Elite LC kit, which has a handbrake slot. So that's our quick guide and those cables we were just talking about. See, that looks like an RJ11. I have no idea what this one is. We have the adapter that we can use if we've got a CSW. So we plug the RJ11 cable into the handbrake and then this into the wheel. I had to do that because I have a CSW wheel. And we have the handbrake itself. Looks sturdy. It's got the F stamp on it. And it's all metal construction. It's not a huge amount to look around, because it's got some pretty healthy resistance on it. It's actually hard to pull back when you're holding it just in your hands. And we've got this foamy grip at the end. So I did have to open up the handbrake, so I thought I should show you a couple of pictures from that to show you what the internal components look like. Basically, you have to open this up if you want to mount this on anything other than the prescribed Fanatec equipment. One thing that did annoy me a little bit with that is that the QC Past sticker had been stuck over one of the screw holes, which you have to unscrew, so it's effectively removing that sticker to be able to get inside in order to mount it, in my case to my 8020 chassis. So that was a little bit annoying.
3, 2, 1, go. 34 left, opens 50, keep right of a jump maybe into 6 left, 30. So
as you can see from this footage of Dirt Rally 2, I've now got the handbrake mounted to my 8020 rig, and my rally driving is still as bad as it ever has been. This I've deliberately gone for Argentina because, you know, the high walls and the tight hairpins make it a bit of a challenge, but also means that I can test out the handbrake and show you some footage from me testing out the handbrake. Overall, I didn't really feel much in the way of give on the handbrake. It felt pretty solid throughout my driving. You might notice that I'm actually having to move my wheel a lot more than I am in game. So I've since calibrated the wheel a bit better. So hopefully that will improve my rally driving in the future. But for this review, you can see I'm able to put roughly the right pressure on the handbrake at the right times, and I'm able to find it whilst in VR, which is pretty handy, and it felt pretty solid throughout. I did have initially some concerns that it was drifting a little bit, that it was still technically on, but actually when you're using the device properly, the spring of the handbrake itself kind of pushes that back far enough for you not to have to worry, and it does disengage the handbrake fully. When I was just holding it and slowly releasing it back, then I would have the problem. But when I was actually using it in a real scenario, it was all good. So here's the value question. Is this handbrake worth it over all of the alternatives on the market that can be cheaper? I think as a dedicated device, it does the job, and it does the job well. However, it does seem a little overpriced when you see the Chinese alternatives on the market, and it doesn't seem to be any better build quality than those Chinese alternatives, which is, I guess, a little disappointing, but not totally unexpected. In that regard, I'd say if you're in the Fanatec landscape and you have a lot of the equipment, it's possibly worthwhile grabbing. You may have the shifter and you can mount it to the shifter. If you've got the pedals, you can plug it into the pedals. If you've got the wheel, so on and so forth. But if you're not in that landscape, there are better alternatives for the same or less in value. And of course there are far superior ones if you wish to go down the HE route. Overall, I like the handbrake. It works well. It functions as you'd expect, but I think maybe there's a little bit of Fanatec being applied to the price, which is a little disappointing. I don't necessarily think this is much better than the other handbrakes I've tried. In fact, in many regards, I don't see it as any better than those other handbrakes, and they're all almost half the price. So yeah, it's difficult to recommend it on that basis. But if you're already in the Fanatec landscape and you've got the shifter and you want to mount something to the side of the shifter, then by all means grab this handbrake. It'll do the job for you. So if you like this mini review and you would like to see more of this kind of content, please subscribe to this channel, give a like to the video, and maybe leave a comment. I do like to see the feedback that you guys leave for me. Thank you.
50 over bumps, 2 left, tightens, 30, 3 left, 30, turn unseen 2 right, keep right over 50, 1 left tightens,